Der Leon fliegt hin.
Wie ist das für den Tom? Ich höre. Wie war der Akkustand von der Kamera 6? Auf jeden Fall sehr schlecht, ich tausche gerade den Akku. Ist jetzt wieder da. Jetzt aber die Kamera mal runterfahren können, weil dann verstellst du es so schnell dabei. Hab's da eigentlich runtergefahren? Wann gehe ich denn wieder umher? In circa 10 Minuten. Diesmal wieder auch nicht schon bei sein. Naja, so viel passiert da ja nicht. Dauert ja auch noch 10 Minuten. Dann kommen die Verbrenner und Elektroautos, das macht mit menschlichen Steuermaschinen, oder? Hey. Könnt ihr beim Stickbett Driverless noch das Overlay ändern?
Demi.
Hast du bestimmt mal einfach 5 Minuten noch ein bisschen leiser, ich sollte mal abmachen.
Ja, die sind in dem Rack drin. Also das müsste... Nee. Die steht nur da. Da ist ein extra Pult und ein extra
der Kamera 6.
Filmglas. Genau.
Schaut gut aus, ist ein bisschen schöpfer oder sonst ungefähr.
Und da sind auch 2 Handsender drin.
Kriegst du jetzt beide Kameras von der Acceleration?
Genau, perfekt.
Ja. Hast du gerade in einer in der Hand drin? Wie bitte? Hast du gerade in der 6 in der Hand drin? Dann ist das die am Live-View hängt, die fehlt. Sieht von hier aber eigentlich alles soweit okay aus. Die Kamera läuft auf dem Medium, das an der Remote Control. Da steht auch, dass der streamt. Tom, geh doch mal an den Wirecast-Rechner links, bitte. Acceleration kommen beide Bilder an. Danke.
Meistens gewohnt, dass wir seit einer Viertelstunde einfach nur die Kamera 3 senden, ohne irgendwas. Nee, ist er nicht. Ich kann hier gerade YouTube gucken, da ist auch schon ein Kommentar. Ist das immer so mit dem Orgelfunk bei uns manchmal im Hintergrund? Also es gibt mit Driverless ist noch online. Ja. Alles klar. Jo, tschüss.
Die Quantität war auf den Artikel auch wichtig. Kannst du auch machen, aber da kann jetzt nichts machen, also legen wir nichts auf, oder? Slopes down towards the front wing.
Good afternoon, Hockenheim. We're back at the skid pad after a quick lunch break and hydration. Now for some driverless action. We've actually got the first car being wheeled up to the skid pad now from Karlsruhe Institute of Technology. The rules of the driverless skid pad are pretty similar to the driver version that we watched this morning. The only slight changes are that the car must start along the 2 orange cones where it's at, and once it completes its run, it must stop within 25 meters of the finish line in an area marked by the orange cones at the exit of the skid pad. Steph, are you able to give us an update of the scrutineering status of the driverless cars that we might be able to see this afternoon?
Yeah, so far, if I look at the amount of teams that have completed the brake EBS, which is the last stage of the scrutineering for the driverless cars, that's 8 out of 17. So at maximum right now is we would expect 8 cars to have a run in. Although I have to say there are 1, 2, 3, 4 teams close to making that brake test. So maybe if they come as well, it's up to 12 teams I would expect here.
Sounds very good, and I guess we've got a pretty good view of the...
that, make that 14, sorry.
We've got a pretty good view of the brake test here as well for the driverless cars, so hopefully we'll hear some cheering coming from that direction pretty soon.
So I think we should go and stand behind the tire wall, right, Austin? Because you never know with this software. So it's the Karlsruhe team. Oh yeah, that is one thing I wanted to check. Maybe we can do that in the book, Austin, whether Karlsruhe also brought their combustion car. Because they brought an electric, and they brought a driverless.
It looks like their slogan is 1 team, 2 cars.
Okay, so then not.
So they've just got a driverless and electric car this year.
They used to have combustion as well, but they stopped doing that apparently. Putting their focus fully on the electric and driverless parts.
This driverless car features a combination of 3 cameras and a LiDAR sensor. Processed using 36 gigaflops of performance.
So, 1, 2, 3, hey, 1, 2, 3.
I'm not an expert, but that sounds like a lot of flops.
We're standing at the exact angle where we cannot see any of the lights, so maybe we should relocate a bit.
Still can't see any of the lights.
Austin, maybe we should stand a bit more here to the side, then we can see it. Oh, she goes all right. So the first time right-hander, it's a fast one as well. It's a 5.15. This is really solid. The left-hander is a 5.14, so very good run. They do, however, clipped one cone, so that's unfortunate, but it was quite fast, Austin, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was really impressive. That was right up there with the drivered version of the skid pad we saw this morning. It looked quite smooth. There were no like terrifying moments or anything. It was well in control, I'd say. I've also just realized they've got a third driverless light at the back of the car, just above the brake light.
It's called.
Yeah.
I think it's autonomous system status indicator, right?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Something like that.
The solid blue light means that it's completed its mission. If that light were to be flashing blue, that means the mission was aborted or stopped by the team.
In general, yellow is good. Blue continuous is good. Blue flashing is not good. And also yellow, it has to start and recognize that it needs to go. So the state between the continuous yellow and the flashing yellow needs to pick up on that as well. But this is a good first run. I'm happy with that. I'm curious to see whether the driverless cars can go below the 5-second mark. Maybe a good time to look up on the times of last year. That might be interesting as well to see.
And I think this is probably going to be a pretty competitive time.
Well, it's a competitive time in the regular class as well. So anyhow, it's impressive. But I am curious to see where this stacks up if we look at the driverless competition last time. So last year, Karlsruhe won it. So the KIT Karlsruhe won it, the skid pad event, with a best time of 6.8. So already, is this right? Yes, it is right. So in FS Driverless 19, the fastest skid pad time was a 6.87. So already we are way below that.
And looking at the recent results, I think KA Racing also won in FS East earlier this year. So they're certainly in good form.
And then I'm of course curious to see what their time in East was. But I will look that up as well. We're not fully in our mission control big screen setup yet. That will be as of tomorrow. And we're sitting in the tent with race control. Then we have it a little sooner, but I can look it up like this as well.
While you're looking that up, I can see car 466 from the University of Applied Sciences Augsburg now being wheeled to the starting line of the skid pad.
In East, KA Racing managed to do a 4.8, so well below the 5-second mark. Actually, if we stack that up with the skid pad that we saw this morning, it is around the fastest times of the regular class as well. Some cars 4.7, 4.8. That's the fastest we've seen this morning, so I hope they can do that here as well. And that is really approaching the mechanical limits of the car as well, the tire limits.
Yeah, let's see what they can do. In the meantime, as Augsburg is wheeled to the starting line, Their autonomous system has the vision of 2 cameras as well as a LiDAR sensor. The processing unit has 5,734 gigaflops, which I must have been wrong about 36 being a lot previously, but I mean, this sounds like a lot.
Augsburg in Formula Student East this year did a 5.1 as well, so they should be able to come near the times that KA Racing set. Maybe not in their first run. What we see is that over the runs, these driverless cars do get faster. And I believe they have 2 runs, right, Austin?
Yeah, it's been confirmed that each driverless car has exactly 2 runs this afternoon. And no amount of negotiating will get you any more runs. I wonder how much strategy involved with Karlsruhe and Augsburg, with Karlsruhe obviously knowing what the Augsburg car was capable to run. If they wanted to set a safe time that maybe matched Augsburg's time from previous events.
Yeah, but still, these times do approach the fastest times this car can do anyway, with or without driver. So I think they might just go for it. I didn't closely observe the Karlsruhe car, but I think their first lap already was quite fast. Augsburg definitely taking it a bit slower now in the beginning, but now it's picking up some pace. And there we go. This is amazing to see. It is a 5.8, so a bit slower than Karlsruhe. And there we go. Let's see if it stops neatly in the box and completes its mission. Oh, I can't see the lights from here. Yes, there it is. Very well done.
Completed it, mate.
The blue light was exactly behind the timing device from where I was standing. So probably the first, when it starts in the first right-hander, it has to navigate also through the big orange cones and figure out where the first few cones are, and after that it's okay.
I think if I was one of the officials, I would be mean and put some random cones in the background as well.
Green ones, purple ones.
Yeah.
Well, that's good, and I think should be a next step, right? That it's less and less defined where exactly everything is going to be, and then it's more and more autonomous.
Yeah, or things like if you have wet patches and you have reflections of cones in the car and you need to figure those things out.
We've seen that in the past. When it's raining, then there's reflections everywhere, and cars do struggle with that a lot. I believe it was 2 or 3 years ago. Maybe the technology by now has evolved a bit and it's less of a problem, but I still think it is.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with you. There's still certainly. I think we're just right at the beginning of this driverless technology.
I am happy that we can see another car coming in. That is the Green Team Stuttgart. So we have had 36 gigaflops, Austin, for Karlsruhe, 5,000 something for Augsburg. Where's the Green Team?
Oh wow, they have 11,024. Oh no, that's the wrong one. Sorry, that's the other Stuttgart. 6,000 gigaflops from Ren Team Stuttgart.
It's one of the very few metrics that you're particularly interested in, right? Gigaflops.
Yeah, I mean, I think as with these cars, they're so technologically advanced that if you really want to know more about how they work, you need to speak to each of the teams individually. The gigaflops number is just a sort of high-level processing unit performance number, basically how fast it can do calculations, which I find as a simple way of assessing the complexity of the system. But as we're seeing, maybe having the most complex system isn't really necessary. Once again, no radar on this car. It's a combination of cameras and a LiDAR sensor. One of each. the fourth time Green Team has participated with their driverless car at Hockenheim.
Is it me, Austin, or is the wind picking up a bit? And do we see some darker clouds left and right?
Yeah, I do feel wind coming from sort of behind the north curve towards the dynamic area.
For acceleration, which is also happening in parallel in the main straight, this will be a strategical element. Because it might be some rain over there. And if that's the case, it will be a mess at acceleration, I guess.
But yeah, that's a good point. There are some dark clouds in the direction that the wind is coming from.
Okay, so the Stuttgart car now is being prepared. Can you hear pneumatic system actuating? I think that's the... it's not pneumatic, but it did sound like pneumatic, but it probably wasn't.
Oh, and there's a flashing blue light, which we know isn't a good sign.
No, that's not a good sign. But it immediately went to flashing blue. Was it orange in between or not?
I didn't see anything.
Must have been super short, super brief.
I don't think that should count as a run, but I can go check with the official and confirm what the official...
let's not comment on that, because that's sometimes our hunches with what does and does not count as a run.
Well, yeah,
it might be a run. I'm not quite sure.
Let me go check so that there's no speculation whatsoever.
The system was on at a certain point and it stopped by itself, so technically there's no difference in stopping halfway or stopping before you start, right?
Well, it didn't actually it didn't cross the starting line at all, so...
That's right.
Let me go find out.
Okay, while Austin is talking to one of the marshals, I already got a message. But maybe, Austin, you know now?
Yeah, I was just speaking to Christian, who's in charge of the dynamics here. He's advised that this year, as in this event right now, it does not count as a run because the car hasn't passed the starting line. But starting next year, this scenario would have counted as a run. But fortunately for Green Team, right now, this hasn't counted as a run.
Because they did not cross the starting line. That's the prime argument.
Because they didn't cross the starting line, exactly.
Okay, that's exactly the information I got. So it's consistent. You good?
Consistent.
Well, we are waiting for the Green Team car. I believe Delft is completely emptying their battery on the test track because they haven't been there for a long time, haven't they?
Yeah, like since before Karlsruhe made their run, I saw Delft over there. So yeah, they've been there for a good 20 minutes at least.
And they have had some issues, of course, with their motor controller. So probably they're testing. Oh, now they're done. We jinxed it. They had to leave the test track. Maybe another car is wanting to go. So Zurich we can see at the test track for the driverless test track. So there are, I think there might be 3 test tracks, right? One over there, or is that the runoff area for the acceleration?
I think at the moment there's the one test track. Then we've got the brake test for the driverless cars and the skid pad over here, and then the runoff for the acceleration is on the track, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right. And we also have the regular brake test zone where it's always is, actually.
Looks like they've at least started to reactivate some of the systems on the car from the green team.
Yeah, so we can see the brake light is on, but not yet the orange light. We can hear the hiss and the puff again. Is it pneumatic? It does sound pneumatic. Okay, now it's solid orange. That's a good sign. Marshall and team members now evacuate the area, so that's a good sign for them. Let's see if they can manage to start now. So, solid orange. I think they are waiting for the Zürich car, which is currently in the autonomous brake test area, to clear out a bit before they give the go-ahead to green team. So the car is now being pulled off by one of the team members. I think as soon as they are vacating the area, then it's showtime here. Yep, I can hear the beep of the high voltage system.
And the
flashing orange.
The ASI light is now flashing, which means the car is now on a mission.
And flashing blue. No. Car is apparently unable to get started, basically.
Yeah,
it knows it's on a mission.
Not in the mood right now.
No. I think since this does not count as a DNF and there are no cars whatsoever in the queue, or are there?
There actually is one,
there's one
just on the other side of the tires. I can really only see the push bar.
That's Trondheim, yeah. Okay, then probably at a certain point Trondheim will get a chance to run. I think now the green team car, yes, they are pushed off in order to have Trondheim make an attempt to get started. This is your gigaflop lookup moment again, Austin.
It is, yeah. The Trondheim car has a processing unit with 499 gigaflops. There's no information in the booklet about cameras or radar, but they definitely do have a LiDAR sensor on this vehicle. In the CAD render as well, I can't see any cameras. I'm going to go have a swing around and look at it in real life.
Let's take a look close by while they are setting up. So we can definitely see the LiDAR on top.
Yeah, it looks like potentially just one LiDAR sensor.
I think so. Well, that's also what it says in the book, so.
Don't question the book, I think is the moral of the story. Although in the book, the car doesn't have a front wing. And we can see the ASSI light is now flashing yellow, indicating that the car is now on a mission. Can hear the audible siren from the vehicle indicating it's potentially about to move. Can see the steering wheel moving back and forth, essentially calibrating.
Yeah, that's quite fun to watch.
You can hear some mechanical noises of like servos or something from inside the car doing something. Yeah, the steering wheel is just sort of wiggling back and forth.
I'll give it some time to figure out where it wants to go.
It looks like the team has just aborted the mission. We can see the flashing blue lights. I mean, the car was clearly doing something, but obviously not what it was meant to be doing.
Okay, retry for Trondheim. High voltage system is on. The indicator light is solid orange now. We can hear the beep. Flashing orange now. Yes, and now it goes. A steering motion all over. And it stopped for a bit, but didn't cross the starting line yet, I think. Or it did.
I think it just barely has crossed the starting line. Although this is another question of where the starting line is.
Ich habe die nur berührt und dann fährt die sofort auf zu die Lampe.
Austin, you have spilled some chocolate.
Chocolate?
It's not in the driving line for tomorrow, so should be fine. So we can see the blue flashing light now. So team members ended the mission. Quite curious whether the transponder has crossed the starting line.
Well, see, I'm not sure because the starting line is actually the start of the skid pad is where the transponder, where the receiver is.
There is a line on the ground before, at the orange cones.
Oh, okay, yeah. Perhaps another clarification we need to make.
Christian is just leaving us, so we can't ask him. So I'll ask later. Austin, shall we take a stroll through the scrutineering area? Because here in Driverless, no cars lining up so far.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea, Steph.
Ist nur nichts. Ja, ich muss noch aufzoomen, aber nichts.
Okay, we can see a new car entering the driverless skid pad. It's a car from RWTH Aachen. And we just had some clarification about the previous run. And well, actually the officials had to clarify it as well. It only starts, so the run only starts when you trip the timing beacon. For this year, that's the rule. Next year, as Austin explained, if the car's there and it's on a mission and it doesn't work, then you lose your, then it's a DNF basically. Then you lose that. But for this year, they have to trip the timing beacon to start the run. So any errors before that, and the timing beacon is exactly at the center line of the skid pad. Anything that goes wrong before that, like we saw just now with, what was it again, Trondheim? Then you're basically sort of okay. So you're okay in terms of you don't lose your round, but still you're not okay, obviously, because your car doesn't work as planned.
And we now see Aachen, car number 499 at the start line. The driverless system features 3 cameras and a LiDAR sensor. Has a processing unit with a performance of 8,400 gigaflops.
That's, or did we have 11,000 as well?
We haven't seen a car with 11,000 run yet.
Then this is the highest.
This is the highest so far.
Most calculating capacity. But if you have, you said 3 cameras and the LiDAR, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Then you do need a bit of processing power in order to process all the data.
Yeah, especially it's a 40 layer or a 40 layer LiDAR system, the range of up to 40 meters. So yeah, I can imagine it uses a significant portion of processing power.
weather update. Sun is shining. Get your sunscreen out, Austin, because I think all the rain that we can still see is floating over.
Yeah, to be fair, it looks quite bad behind the BW tower.
And also over there, is that that's the east, right? To the east of us, it's quite dark.
But yeah, above us, it's, you know, tropical paradise.
Is that east? Wait, there's the sun. North, east. Yeah, it's east. Basically everywhere around the Hockenheim ring, it's a lot more cloudy than it is right above our heads.
And I can tell, based on how quickly the chocolate I dropped on the ground has melted, that the track is actually retaining some heat at the moment.
It is a waste of chocolate.
It is a waste of chocolate. I'll try to make the most of it now, gaining some engineering knowledge, data. So they may know the melting point of chocolate.
This is exactly the test they do in Formula One, right? To obtain valid track temperature information.
Yeah, should we start with the hards or the softs? I don't know. Let's put a Mars bar in the ground. But you can see, even with a slight bit of wind, it solidifies the top coating of the chocolate on the ground. Can you see that? It's sort of got that like milky texture as opposed to the shine that was just there.
Warm ground, cold wind, hot sun. Was that more or less the summary of everything?
Yeah, exactly. Meanwhile, the car from Aachen is still at the starting line. They've not started the mission yet or anything. They're still setting some programs.
Can you remember that in the first years of driverless, we've seen all sorts of routines before cars could start? From activating pneumatic systems to doing some sort of routine to calibrate the steering wheel, or actually there were some cars that had to start with full lock to the right hand or left hand side. We saw that as well.
Yeah, I mean, I know that we've only seen 2 cars set sometimes, but every car that's been here has had a much more straightforward startup procedure than we have the first few years. Certainly are making some improvements.
I think it's also due to rule changes, because it wasn't fun for anyone to watch and not fun for the teams to do. So I think they're more strict now in what you can and cannot do just before the starting line. So you have to bring a car, place it, and have it go.
And I can see the high voltage system is active. The tractive system is activated. The yellow solid light comes on for the ASSI, indicating the car is prepared to make a run. The car is now beeped and is flashing.
There we go.
It's made a run and immediately veered off course to the right.
Well, it did something. That's
But
good.
yeah, once again, it hasn't crossed the timing beacon to start the run.
Oh, we can do this all day, I guess. I mean, it's
Yeah,
not,
actually,
it's not
this
official,
time
huh?
is flying by. We're already been in this event, well, nominally an hour. I realized that there were no cars for the first 20 minutes or so. But there's only an hour and a half of this event left.
I think most of these cars are not approaching the mechanical limits of the car in this event, except for 1 or 2. For them, it might make sense to be strategic about it, although conditions are good. I don't think it will get any warmer than this, not a lot, and the rubber deposit is negligible in the driverless cars compared to what we saw this morning. So there's no real reason to wait, right? Other than, well, that you have to fix stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, between Karlsruhe and Augsburg at the minute, it's a bit like a penalty shootout. Do you want to take the kick first, or do you want to take the kick second? I think there's a certain degree of Karlsruhe waiting for Augsburg to run, to ensure that they can stay on top. There's also a degree of Augsburg waiting for Karlsruhe to run to assess how much they want to risk for their final run. So maybe a bit of a chess match.
It's a staring contest, basically.
It is, yeah.
I think if you have a car that works as well as the Karlsruhe and Augsburg cars, you can do this. And the faster you go, the more risk you take. Of course, that cars take out a cone or multiple cones.
Yeah, bearing in mind, I think you mentioned that Karlsruhe did take out a cone on its fastest run, didn't it?
I'm not sure. People on the live stream need to play back and rewatch. I can't remember. Cones were clipped by one of those two cars.
Oh.
Oh, now Aachen does get a DNF. That's interesting.
Mach mal eine Totale.
So we were just checking this. This was a DNF, and the reason for that is that it went outside of the line. So even though it didn't cross the time beacon, it went outside the lines, and therefore it was an off course, and then it counts as a DNF. So, in the fact being it being an off course, immediately you have spent your run more or less. Next year, however, the rules are a bit easier, so that helps. And I think it makes sense as well, because they did drive quite a while. So it's not, well, if you're in the team, probably you're not happy with it, but okay, I think it makes sense.
But it does look like Karlsruhe is now approaching the line. We'll see what sort of strategy they employ. We know they ran a 4.8 second skid pad earlier this year at FS East.
I think they can be quite comfortable in taking some risk here. They have a margin. They know that they are as fast as Augsburg was in East, more or less. So, considering the fact that this is their last run, I would turn it up to 11 and just see what happens.
Yeah, I think that's a good plan, good strategy. At least the most entertaining for the rest of us.
Well, we are building racing cars after all, don't we? I mean, this is not an eco challenge or a solar challenge or whatever. Prime goal is to go fast, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a good point. You may as well just see what the car can do.
Okay, first we take a look at the EBS brake test for car number, yeah, what is the car number? 454 or so?
Yeah, it's 454.
So that must be Barcelona doing the brake test, the autonomous brake test. Hopefully they can make it, and so we can see them later on here at the skid pad.
Wenn du herguckst links, da kannst du komplett außen am Zaun irgendwie langlaufen. Du kommst hier durch. Nee, ich glaube nicht. Du musst hier ranlaufen und dann quasi zum Schachtler da rein. Ja. Nee, da musst du nicht. Du kannst vorne bei dir am Scheffler kannst du reingehen, an den zwei Scheffler-Zelt. Und da kannst du hier außen durchgehen. Weil hier ist ein Gang durch.
So while we are waiting for the Karlsruhe team this morning at acceleration, that was won by Augsburg with a 3.997, below 4 seconds. So that's a good time for the driverless cars. KIT did it in the 4.2, and we are getting some applause from the Barcelona team, I guess. So I think they made it, Austin.
I mean, yeah, it looks like he's very happy. That's hopefully good news for them. I can't imagine you'd be clapping if they didn't pass. So, I mean, if they hurry up, maybe they can get over here and get a time on a skid pad. And put them in actually a pretty reasonable position if they can set a time here.
Interestingly, what we saw with Trondheim just now, the car not willing to go, so to speak. And they had probably more or less the same issue this morning at the acceleration, where they did show up, but had two DNFs. So they had issues there as well with starting the mission.
And I can see they've now activated the Karlsruhe car. It's got a solid yellow light indicating it's ready to start its mission. The emergency remote switch holder
did a Hail Mary
does
there.
a little Hail Mary, yeah.
It was a proper one.
Can you hear the beep?
There we go.
Let's see if the car will do a Hail Mary now too.
There we go. It's a 515, sorry. Exactly the same time. Left-hander was a 5.13. Total time in hundreds exactly the same.
And we see a solid blue light, which means the car has successfully finished its run, and we know for sure there were no cones on that run. So now
this round was 8 milliseconds faster than the previous one. So this was a 5.136, and the first lap was a 5.144. 5.136. Well, very consistent performance there from Karlsruhe. Not as fast as they were in East. We have to add that as well, but still very, very good performance.
Yeah, we have to keep in mind the weather conditions and the actual circuit itself. We know that it's not quite flat. Some off-camber bits. Now, green team approaching the starting line again. Let's see if they can successfully complete a run this time. Of course, we'll need to give Karlsruhe a few minutes to evacuate the exit zone.
So this morning, only 5 cars were able to complete an acceleration run. That were Augsburg, Karlsruhe, Trondheim. No, correction. Augsburg, Karlsruhe and Roma, only 3 cars. 2 other cars were there as well, Trondheim and Prague, but they had DNFs. That means that we will be expecting Roma sometime soon, I guess. There's a donut. So for all the spectators online, Hockenheim Ring has a new Porsche experience very close by. So we don't have the drag racing cars this year, but we do have screeching sound of Porsche cars being driven. And this particular one is having a blast by making donuts. Very close to that's where the tanking, the tankstelle is. What is it in English? Gas station. Then you know where it is. There they have now some new Porsche experience. That's nice.
Yeah, they've got a nice new like service building here to keep the cars, you know, in good condition. And yeah, it's quite a cool looking track. It'd be interesting to see a Formula Student car go around. It's probably pretty well suited. There's not many long straights, some tight bends. And yes, quite a bit of elevation change as well.
Okay, here we go again with the run for the green team. What is that sound? It definitely sounds like pneumatics, but
some sort of
I cannot imagine
actuator or something.
An electric car. Do they have a DRS or something? Arm of the DRS that we hear. What do we hear? Actuation for the braking? No.
Well, either way, the ASSI light is now solid yellow, indicating the car is prepared to make a run. And here the sound, the beep from the car, and the yellow light now begins to flash. The car lurches forward and immediately see the flashing blue light, which means the run has been aborted. So I believe this once again shouldn't count as a run because the car didn't get to the beacon but also didn't drive out of bounds.
Tim? Ja, ich weiß, sind die Fluglampen, die Lichtscheinwerfer für den Ausgang hinten schon gebaut worden? Und die M6 sind auch noch nicht gestellt, oder? Okay, was ist denn jetzt noch an der Bühne? gewesen. Ein Auto hat es geschafft, alle anderen.
Maybe now we can take a walk through the paddock and scrutineering. Last time we were going to go, a car went to join the start line. So if that happens again, of course, we'll come back to the driverless skid pad. But until then, let's have a look and see what's going on around here.
Hier ist anscheinend jetzt erstmal Pause, Stillstand.
So standing here in the dynamic area near the driverless skid pad, we can see the Aachen car. We just made an attempt at a DNF. We have the Augsburg driverless car, who have had one fast run in and are sure to go again to beat the time from Karlsruhe, the overall fastest time of the day. We have TU Hamburg as well, with a car that doubles in the electric class and the driverless class. You can recognize that by the 800 numbers. And we have the driverless car from ETH Zurich getting ready as well. Also getting ready here is the Budapest car, but they are getting ready for the brake test, so not to drive in the skid pad. Uni Erlangen is now doing the noise test, as you can hear. Austin, decent amount of smoke is coming out of the exhaust of that car. It's running rich, I would say. We can smell it as well.
I can smell the oil burning. I don't think it's necessarily a problem, but hopefully it'll burn off quite soon. Like we mentioned this morning, maybe they spilt somewhere in the exhaust. It leaked somewhere. They've got a little bit too much in the engine.
Now it's starting to become a bit less, but still keeps on going, so might have a minor oil spillage somewhere. Also during doing the noise test right now is Ravensburg Weingarten, and Exiting the brake test area now as well is car number 53. Which is UAS KIT.
I could be mistaken, but I think I see the Augsburg car being pushed out of its pit box and headed towards the skid pad. So this could be some on-track excitement for us coming up very soon. And indeed, the car from Augsburg is being pushed up to the line. I wonder what strategy they're going to go with, if they're going to sort of turn their car all the way up and try to equal their time for FS East and challenge Karlsruhe, or maybe be a little bit more conservative just to improve their time and minimize the points differential.
So what they are looking for is about half a second to close the gap to Karlsruhe, and more than that if they want to beat them. This can go both ways, Austin. They can incrementally go a little bit faster than they went last time and play it a bit more safe, or they can just go for it. And I don't know for sure, but I think the previous lap wasn't completely clean as well, but I'm not sure on that one. But what they are looking for is somewhere in the vicinity of 5.1, 5.2, and definitely no cones. So I think being clean now is worth more than being super fast in order to consolidate their points for the overall standings, where they are doing quite well because they won the acceleration this morning. At least they were the fastest. Whether they won official results, that we don't know, but they were fast.
And the yellow ASSI light is now activated, which means the car is ready to start its mission. We hear the beep and the light begins to flash and the car moves.
We can see again that it goes quite cautious into the first, and then as soon as it makes a turn, last time it picked up the speed, and there we go again. So this is the first untimed reconnaissance lap, and there we go. This looks good. First lap round is a 5.6. Left-hand turn. You can actually see it slide, Austin. That's nice to see. It's a 5.4, so on average a 5.5, and it was very clean. So I think they did it very well.
Yeah, I think that was a good strategy for the overall points of the competition. Just improve on their time, keep the car within its limits, and not do anything silly. But yeah, I mean, it seemed to be able to hold the drift as it went around the skid pad.
Yeah, you can definitely see, especially in the first left-hand turn, it was the first left-hand turn, you could definitely see it slipping and sliding a bit, which we don't see that often on the driverless cars, so that's good. Approaching, okay, we have some action coming in, so we have the Zürich team now approaching the starting line as well. And after that is the Trondheim car. We have about an hour left, I guess, Austin?
Yeah, the event goes until 15:30, so 57 minutes left according to my watch. Don't think there should be any issues with queues or anything based on what we've seen so far. But we did see Barcelona pass the emergency brake test, so hopefully we'll be able to see them in the next hour.
So we got a bunch of flags at the back end of the Pilates car from Zurich. It's a Chinese flag, Indian flag, Italian flag. I think that's Iceland flag, Swiss flag, Romanian flag, Dutch or Luxembourg flag, Mexican flag, and the German flag. Probably that's the team members, right, Austin?
I would think so. We were trying to figure out if it was competitions or team members, but I know some of those countries don't have competitions that this car has been to. So yeah, I would imagine it's nationalities of the team members, which is quite cool. We did something similar when I competed and basically covered the roll hoop in all different flags. They've opened the DRS on the car for this run, at least at the moment. We'll see if it stays open, but that's an interesting choice for the skid pad.
Is it that Zurich car with the very complex active hydraulic suspension? You see all the hydraulics lines at the back? I think that's that car.
Okay, yeah, I've got a feeling this is the 2017 Zurich car, so whether it was that one or not, I'm not sure.
Well, at least we can see a lot of hydraulic lines at the back end of the car.
Yeah, certainly.
So it's that car. Which year it was, no idea. We had a discussion yesterday about that, about active suspension. So there are a couple of forms in which you can do that. You can make, well, the regular suspension where each corner of the car is independent, at least hydraulically. And then you have option 2 is the interlink suspension, where you cross-link basically your hydraulics to adjust your stiffness in your corners. And this is the most exotic version where they can adjust it in movement. So they can adjust the damper stiffness in movement, but it's super complex. And apparently all these complex systems are quite difficult to make happen. So in theory it works super, but in practice you are constantly bleeding your hydraulics systems. And both at Zurich as well as UWA, who did it 10 years ago, did successfully, said to other teams, no, don't do that. It's too difficult to make it work. Don't do that.
Yeah, and I mean at the moment, really Zurich are having some bigger problems with the car not even powering on at the start line. So I think at the moment anyways, the hydraulics are probably one of their smaller worries at the minute. But yeah, it's certainly very tricky, and I know
Then again, the potential gain could be huge. If it works, you're in for a treat.
Yeah, I know when the University of Western Australia car was working, it was just unbeatable like 10, 15 years ago.
Okay, here we go. So the last time we saw the Trondheim team at the starting line, we saw some steering wheel movements going on, but the car not willing to move from its place. Now they're going to try again. Was that some thunder in the back? Austin, you heard it as well,
yeah,
right?
I heard that as well. I don't know if it was thunder or like something very heavy dropped behind the north curve.
Something very heavy dropped. Okay, there we go.
You can see the ASSI light blinking yellow at the minute.
And pneumatics again.
Can hear the car make a beep, indicating it's about to go.
Okay, here we have been before. Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
It's going.
Yes. Yes. To the... Well, Austin. Well, well, well.
It's going to the right.
There we go.
To the right again. You could cut the tension with a knife for the team members. Makes the transition successfully.
I'm not watching the car, I'm only watching the team members here. Yeah. Absolutely tense now. There we go. Let's see if it can park in the box. Ooh. And it is there.
Wow. There's almost like a look of shock on the team's faces that they managed to get that to work.
Wow, congratulations guys. That was this was the best run of the day. It's not the fastest, but it was the best.
That was the best run. That was so much fun watching the team. Look at how excited they are. Should go look at the times anyways.
Wow.
It doesn't really matter, to be honest. But
team is happy, so probably they are happy to be driving at all.
yeah, 8.78. That's a respectable time, sub 10 seconds. I know the scoring of the driverless skid pad is slightly different to the scoring of the normal skid pad. So I'm not entirely sure what that'll equate to in points, but I mean, it doesn't really matter. The main thing is that they finished successfully.
And in the top 3.
Yeah, that's not bad to go home back to Norway and say top 3 in skid pad. And that was actually just their first run. Let's see what they can do next.
4th or 5th attempt, but only first run.
No,
so
I mean,
good.
like, we were talking about strategy. I think this is an example of where you should just turn it up to 11 and see what happens.
Just for fun purposes. And
yeah, I mean, you've got a run on the board.
Unless you think you can really get close to the 5-6 seconds, you know, up there. I mean, a 9 or 8.8 second run or a 7.8 second run in terms of scoring doesn't matter that much with driverless. Then you just maybe can just go for the 6 seconds and see what happens.
Yeah, exactly. It's I'm sure they know the math behind what they need to tell the car to do in terms of its mission to achieve that time.
Okay, 3 valid runs on the board, 1 DNF.
And yeah, after that moment of excitement, it's all gone quiet over here.
40 to 45 minutes to go.
Apologies to anybody watching on the live stream. We're aware there are some technical issues which we're working on as quickly as we can. Obviously, if they're still happening now, you won't be able to hear me, but hopefully you can.
So Austin, never in my 15 years of Formula student have I seen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 scrutineers on a bench on a Thursday having nothing to do. But that's happening as well. So the brake test is empty, the rain test is empty. Only one car at the noise test. So scrutineers are relaxing, waiting for the big things to come tomorrow.
I didn't know that scrutineers could actually sit down.
Yep, and they're not even falling off the bench, so that works.
Can see some movement to the rear wing DRS flaps on the car from Zurich. Not a whole lot actually happening. Everybody's just sort of staring at the dashboard. Just try to go for the win here.
Just now at the acceleration track, I'm looking at the timing here. Stuttgart set a blistering fast time of 3.42, which is about a tenth of a second away from Dresden and 0.2 of a second away from Zurich. Zurich and München are more or less on par at the moment. And then we have Bayreuth with a 3.7. Prague with a 3.8 and St. Augustine with also a 3.8. So it's quite close in the electric field at the acceleration. First combustion car. Is this right? Oh, there only has been so far one combustion car apparently. Yeah, that's correct. It's a car from Bochum with a 5-second 0.14. So far it's an electric fest at the acceleration. That may be the reason why I heard all the combustion cars practicing out here. They like to wait because we know there are some fast combustion cars at the acceleration as well. Wroclaw, for instance, they usually do very well. So yeah. There is one driverless car, Austin, that we haven't seen yet here, which we want to see. It's the Rome car.
Yeah, that's a really good point. That's I guess the most exciting car that I mean, every car is exciting, but it's just like we said this morning, one of those cars where they've literally tried everything you could possibly think of and somehow made it work. And
I haven't seen their current car up close, but I know their previous car, they drove with it for two seasons. I think one season as combustion, where, well, short story, it was super cool, but it didn't work here in Germany. I think they managed to make it work at one event, and then they turned that car, so the combustion four-wheel drive soccer car, which then was super innovative, into a driverless car. And I actually saw it driving in Italy 2 years ago. So, and apparently this morning in acceleration it worked fine as well. So yeah.
so yeah, I mean, there's still half an hour left exactly. So there still is time, although worryingly I don't see them anywhere in the warm-up area.
It is only 3 o'clock, so. But I am looking forward to that car. I hope they can make it. Wait, you're live. So here, I am standing with a team member from the Barcelona team who really wants to say something to all the people at home.
So, this is the first skip pad ever we try, right? We haven't tried anyone, like not in simulation, well actually, but no. If it moves, please cheer. And if it doesn't like put all the cones out, please cheer a lot. Thank you.
Good, we'll do that.
This is going to be exciting. It's been a long wait, but we've had a few moments of brilliance here this afternoon.
This is the top Spanish driverless car entering the track now.
Yeah, there's actually not even any arguing about it. This is the top Spanish driverless car.
Arguably. So, summary, if it moves, we cheer. If it doesn't move, we cheer as well. Just give them an applause, right?
I think, yeah, that's about right.
Let's take up our normal position, Austin, from a bit of the side. So we can see if it moves, because looking from the back is not the best view. But he has brought his laptop within range, so probably he's just using his keys, you know, to move the car. I would do that.
Just like a big remote control car.
Exactly, I would do that.
Okay.
Meter, 3 Stück noch sind auf der Bühne. Die eine auch schon. Also neben der Bühne steht noch am Treppenaufgang steht Praxis. Da sind die drin.
Well, the car is powered on. I can see the green light at the top of the roll hoop signifying the low voltage systems are active. Appear to be pressurizing some sort of system with a hand pump. I thought they were pumping up a tire, but it's a blue hose which has gone into the cockpit. Okay, yeah. The team member rocking the car back and forth now.
We were just informed by one of the team members that the car is like a baby, so he liked that.
So the low voltage system is still active, but no high voltage at the moment.
You can see the brake lights on. We have to look for the SC
You can
light.
see the high voltage, the tractor system light is on.
But where is the indicator light? Can we? Oh, it's in the back of the black box, I think, on the side.
Okay, and
Strip,
it's solid
small
yellow,
strip.
which means the car is armed.
Yeah, there we have it. Solid yellow. Okay, we have a beep.
The car is going.
It is
This
going.
amazing.
Yes, there we go. Oh, very well done,
What a run,
guys.
it went forward. Well done. Oh, he's narrowly missed the timing equipment as well.
And they do get the round of applause as requested. Thank you all. It moved.
That was amazing.
And also, I think the timekeeping guys will be happy that they nearly missed the beacon.
Yeah, it's quite close.
It's very close, I think. Although it might be the angle where we're standing, but
I mean, still, it was a good effort from Barcelona. They, as the team member said, they weren't quite sure what was going to happen, and they made the car move, which is quite impressive, to be honest. Turn too soon. Turned too soon from the team member. I was 2 meters further back, but I mean, yeah, it did turn in the right direction as well. Yeah, there are numerous positives to take from this. And bearing in mind, these guys were just at the emergency brake test maybe about an hour ago, so they've turned the car around quickly and they've made it here, which is an achievement in itself.
We are nearing the end of the window here, Austin. I think we have 15 minutes to go.
Yeah, just over 15 minutes. The event closes at 3:30.
Earlier today I wanted to get an Apfelschorle, but I think I'll wait 15 minutes for that.
I think that's how we get more cars to come. Every time you say you're going to get yourself an Apfelschorle, you draw a new car in.
Bin ich raus, oder?
So Austin, this might be fast. Zurich is coming in again. They have a very decent banker lap in as well, although albeit with a cone. But well, let's see which strategy they choose, whether to go a bit safe and be clean or go all out.
Here they approach the start line. It took a little bit of time on their first run before they went, and it was very sudden. Let's see how the procedure works this time.
Yeah, most of the cars, they start off quite cautiously, but the Zurich car immediately went like a rocket, didn't it, Austin?
Yeah, it sort of caught me by surprise. I was just talking about how they were getting ready to go, and by the time I looked up, they were already starting the first lap. The car activating the DRS system on the rear wing.
I think Trondheim is back as well to make an attempt again.
team have now all walked away from the car. We'll see how quickly it gets going this time. See the brake light has been activated and deactivated. And the ASSI light has come on solid yellow. You hear the beep and it's begun flashing and the car is off. Another very quick start. Clean first lap, smooth transition.
Yes,
and
it
that's
completed
a
the
successful
mission.
run.
Timing-wise, however, I think we have to wait a bit for the board to come on. It started timing. Yes, there we go. It's a 5.5, so I think that's, yeah, it's a 600th of a second improvement, but clean. Last time they clipped the cone.
And most importantly, they've gone in front of Augsburg as well. By 400ths of a second.
Yes. Up next is Trondheim, and we can also see the RWTH Aachen car coming in to make an attempt. After that, Austin, I don't see any cars waiting anymore. And that is bad news for our friends from Rome, I guess.
Yeah, there's only 12 minutes left before the end of the event. It doesn't look like they're going to make it here. We can see that the LV system is active by the green light on the roll hoop.
Time to beat for Trondheim is 8.78. Somewhat slower than the other cars that we've seen. But it was a clean run. So we were talking about strategy earlier, Austin.
Yeah, I think they should just send it, but we'll see what happens.
Send it.
Well, the tractor system active light is on, showing red for high voltage.
Solid orange status light. Ready to drive sound. Blinking orange, so it knows it's a car on a mission. Yes, and we go again. Turns into the first right-hander. Definitely they have increased the speed. Let's see what they do. It's a 6.3. 2.5 second improvement. I think now they only want to have it clean. It's a 5.76, so it's a 6 flat and a cone, unfortunately.
It has completed its mission. It stopped with solid blue lights. So yeah, just one very last cone it encountered, it hit, but still that's a massive improvement for their time.
Even with the time penalty added for the cone, they still scraped off, I think, 2.5 seconds-ish of their best time so far. So they did good by making this run in order to consolidate for the overall standings.
And we've now got a queue here for the first time this afternoon with 10 minutes left. We've got Aachen approaching the start line, then we've got Prague. And Barcelona again.
Yeah, it's Barcelona again.
qualified, as quick as anything. We've got Prague, they've got the yellow ASSI light, so they need to be ready for the mission. Yeah, you're right. Starting from further up the starting point from the other team.
So they had the remote, and Christian was also standing with a stopwatch. I think they have a...
So I presume they'll be pushed off, and Barcelona will be given another attempt. It's sort of all gotten a bit exciting these past 15 minutes. And I mean, really, all 5 cars have finished within 1.3 seconds of one another, which is quite impressive in its own right. Once again, apologies to anyone watching the live stream. I know there are some technical issues with the uplink. Hopefully we can have everything sorted and working a little bit better tomorrow. Appreciate your frustration, but we're doing everything we had to make this work. Meanwhile, the team from Barcelona is receiving some instructions. Did you get any of that stuff?
I think they're a bit too far up and they have to come back a bit. And at a certain point he will say Wale, and then it's good. Wale, it's good. Now it's good.
Muy bueno.
I actually know what train is in Spanish, so if it's like on rails, 4.9 seconds is promised just now by one of the team members. So
so they are fully sending it, which is good to see.
If that happens, you will personally get a crate of beer from me. But only if it happens, 4.91 is okay for me. 4.99 is also okay. Somewhere with a 4.9.
Here we go.
4.9. Looking forward to that one. Now, in all honesty, just now they drove their first skid pad ever, or their first driving ever. I can't really remember what the details were, but they were happy to have a driving car at all. It went the last time a little bit too soon to the right. Thought it was further than it actually was. Now it does the same. And again, it's good stopping, because I just learned that the time equipment over there is brand spanking new. So the timekeepers were very happy that they didn't hit it previous time. And again, they managed to avoid any issues there.
I mean, that was a really good effort. The team did everything they could to try and improve. Maybe that 4.9 second mode is just taking a shortcut, going a smaller circle around or something. But let's see if they can be out here for the next event they have later on this afternoon.
There are certain elements you have first to observe the environment, where are all the cones. Secondly is to localize where you are.